progress, but a lot of great things are happening. A lot of things are happening for the United States, and I think a lot of great things are going to be happening for Pakistan, too, under your leadership. I really feel that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. President, on Iran, are we closer to negotiations or to armed conflict?
I think Iran doesn't know where they are. I've been watching and reading a lot of reports, and right now they're a very mixed up country. They don't know whether they're coming or going. They have tremendous problems economically. Their country's in turmoil. They're having demonstrations all over Iran. Their inflation rate's at 75%. They have a lot of problems. So whatever it is, it is. I'm just going to sit back and wait. Let's see what happens. But I will say they are doing very poorly as a country, and we'll see what happens. We did actually, because they said no, and you know, it's a religious country or religious leaders, but they lie a lot. We did shoot down. Unfortunately, we had to shoot down a drone. The drone came down. You know how it came down, with a new technology that's actually quite amazing. But we took down one of their drones. Instead of saying, yeah, that happened, they lie. They say it didn't happen. So we have, there's a lot of proof. It's called, take a look at it on the ocean floor. Just go down there, take your scuba gear and go down there in the ocean. One of you would do that, I know. But we took down a drone. I think very importantly, I read a report today about CIA. That's totally a false story. That's another lie. They put out propaganda. They put out lies. I don't think Pakistan would ever do a thing like that, right?
Definitely not.
Pakistan never lies.
Definitely not.
But Iran does, unfortunately. So let's see what happens with Iran. We are ready for the absolute worst, and we're ready for sense, too. But we are very geared up, and if they are really the #1 state of terror in the world. Now, I have to say they've pulled back because their money is running very low. The deal that President Obama made was a disaster because it was such a short term. It didn't cover ballistic missiles, and they couldn't see the important sites. Under this, you couldn't inspect the important sites. There were many things wrong. And of course, they gave $150 billion plus $1.8 billion in green, beautiful cash. That's called many plane loads of cash. I think Pakistan would like to have some of that cash. But they gave $1.8 billion in cash, which is unthinkable. And instead of being respectful and thankful, which frankly they should have been to the United States and to President Obama for making that ridiculous deal, instead of being respectful, they put their finger up in the air, and this finger, the thumb, they put their finger up in the air and they disrespected the United States. They shouldn't have done that. That was a big mistake. One of the best things I've done is terminate that ridiculous deal. If they want to make a deal, frankly, it's getting harder for me to want to make a deal with Iran because they behave very badly. They're saying bad things, and I'll tell you, it could go either way, very easily, very easily. And I'm okay either way it goes.
Mr.
Yeah, go ahead. Are you from Pakistan?
Yeah, I'm from Pakistan.
Good. I want a couple of Pakistani reporters.
Yeah.
I like them much better than our reporters.
Question, 92 News, Khurram Shahzad. Question is, what do you think Pakistan could not deliver in 18 years, and you have so much hope now that it could deliver? What are those things that Pakistan
You mean what they didn't do to end the war?
18 years?
Well, I don't think Pakistan, look, I don't think Pakistan respected the United States. I don't think Pakistan respected its presidents. And I think Pakistan could have done a lot. I think Pakistan can do a tremendous amount with respect to Afghanistan. They didn't do it, and I don't blame them because they were dealing with the wrong president. Who knows? But I think Pakistan could have done, they're helping us a lot now. I think they could have helped us a lot in the past, but it doesn't matter. We have a new leader. He's going to be a great leader of Pakistan. And we have a new leader here, sort of new. I'm 2.5 years now, getting to be 3 years. Can you believe it? You're going to find time flies. But no, I think Pakistan could have done a lot, but they chose not to. And that's because they did not respect U.S. leadership. Well, I'll let you know that very quickly. I'll let you know. I mean, I'm going to know soon. It's not going to be like a long-term thing. I figure things out very quickly. So the question was, that's probably the best question you've asked in a long time. First time, she's always asking Mueller. She's been asking this Mueller thing for 3 years. It's your best question. So I have to focus on that because that's such a great question. I think Pakistan is going to do a lot. I really do. I think Pakistan is going to make a big difference. I think Pakistan will save millions of lives in Afghanistan because I really believe they have a power that other nations don't have with respect to Afghanistan. And I will say, as of this moment, they're working very hard and very nicely.
Mr. President, even you video of protesters in Hong Kong and these ongoing protests being beaten by gangs and potentially the Hong Kong and Chinese governments sort of looking the other way and allowing these peaceful protesters to be beaten. Have you seen any of that footage? Have you been briefed on any of that? Do you have
Well, I
any
have,
messages
and,
of Beijing and China?
you know, I know President Xi. We're working on trade deals right now. We'll see what happens. Meantime, they're paying us billions and billions of dollars of tariffs, which is fine with me. But I know that they're working. I know that's a very important situation for President Xi. And you know, you could say what you said, but you could also say that he has allowed that to go on for a long time, and you know, it's been relatively. I think it's been relatively nonviolent.
Do you believe that protesters should be allowed to protest on the streets in Hong Kong as they've been doing?
Well, they are. I mean, they are. I don't think China stopped them. China could stop them if they wanted. I think that, again, I'm not involved in it very much, but I think President Xi of China has acted responsibly, very responsibly. They've been out there protesting for a long time. I've never seen protests like it where you have that many people. It looks like 2 million people. Those are big protests. But I think that I hope that President Xi will do the right thing. But it has been going on a long time. There's no question about it.
Mr. President, even your critics.
Anybody want to take a question?
Imran, Prime Minister again, Jhanwari from Hawaii News.
Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. President made good remarks about Pakistan and said that Pakistan can help a lot to end the violence in Afghanistan. The dialogue process and reconciliation process. So what really Pakistan can do to bring peace, because you are also accompanied by your military commander, General Bajwa, and other security team. So what solution Pakistan, what strategy paper you have to push forward the peace and reconciliation process in Afghanistan and assurances to the US? Yes.
Well, number one, this is the longest war that the United States has ever fought. It's almost 19 years. Number two, I am one of those who always believed that there was no military solution. Because anyone who knows the history of Afghanistan, you just have to look back at the history. There was always going to be a political settlement at the end. And I have to compliment President Trump because he has now forced people to end the war, to have a settlement. And that's where I think Pakistan is playing a very important role, because Pakistan has a 1,500-mile border with Afghanistan and all the areas where the trouble is, which is the eastern side of Afghanistan. So this is a critical time. I'm looking forward to my talks with President Trump. We have our military leadership here, because this is obviously a security situation. And what we want is understanding between the two countries. I can assure President Trump that whatever we will be saying will be we will be straight with them. There will never be any question of any doubt on Pakistan's intent, because apart from Afghanistan, the country that wants peace in Afghanistan more than any other country is Pakistan, because we get directly affected by it. And Pakistan needs stability. We have had 15 years of fighting this war on terror, over 70,000 Pakistani casualties, over $150 billion lost to the economy. So we desperately want peace. And I'm happy that President Trump has pushed this forward. So we hope, I'm looking forward to these talks.
Prime Minister, can you...
Prime Minister, and apart from Afghanistan, there is another security threat in South Asia, and that is Kashmir dispute unresolved even by the United Nations and even by the US, who voted in support of that resolution in the UN. Now, are you going to make any kind of submission and intervention of President Trump? And the same question to Mr. President Trump. Is he going to play any role in that?
Okay, he's got it.
I've
He's
got
got
a
it.
question. I will be asking President Trump. It's the most powerful country in the world, the United States. It can play the most important role in bringing peace in the subcontinent. You know, there are over a billion and a quarter people in the subcontinent. They are held hostage to the issue of Kashmir, and I feel that only the most powerful state, headed by President Trump, can bring the two countries together. From my point, I can tell you, we have tried our best. We've made all overtures to India to start dialogue, resolve our differences through dialogue. But unfortunately, we haven't made headways as yet. But I'm hoping that President Trump would.
He asked me the same thing, so I think there's something. So maybe we'll speak to him, or I'll speak to him, and we'll see if we can do something.
Mr. President, even your
Because I've heard so much about Kashmir.
Yes.
Such a beautiful name. It's supposed to be such a beautiful part of the world, but right now there's just bombs all over the place. They say everywhere you go you have bombs, and it's a terrible situation. Been going on for many years. If I can do anything to help that, let me know. Let me give you one thing on Afghanistan as an example. So a lot of you don't know this, but we dropped the largest non-nuclear bomb ever built in history. We dropped it in Afghanistan. We were getting ready to make many of those bombs. This left a hole that it took out a lot of the tunnels and everything else, but it left a hole in the earth that looked like the moon. It looked like a crater from the moon, still there. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. People heard it 15 miles away. They said, what was that? It shook the earth. Non-nuclear, the largest ever made by far. And they were going to make many of them. And I said, no, we don't have to. I don't want to drop that. I don't want to do that. So many easy solutions. That's actually the easy solution. And they'd come in and they'd say, let's have peace, but you don't have to do that. I think we're going to be very successful without having to go that route. And I have tremendous confidence in the Prime Minister. All right, one or two more. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Are you going to raise the issue of topic treaty with Imran Khan? And here, question to you regarding the freedom of the press in Pakistan. There are a lot of curbs on the freedom of press, on the media, on the journalists. Can you comment on that?
Go ahead.
Pakistan press, to call Pakistan press as if there are curbs on it. Pakistan has one of the freest presses in the world. All you have to do is, since I've been the Prime Minister in the last 10 months, I mean, the criticism I have received from my own press, unprecedented. So to say that there are curbs on Pakistan press is a joke.
Mr.
When you say unprecedented, it can't, wait a minute, wait. There's no way you're treated worse than I am.
Mr. Prime Minister, you are fighting, Mr. Prime Minister.